WBRC Fox 6 News. First Alert Weather Extra starts now.
Welcome into First Alert Weather Extra. Chief Meteorologist Wes Wyatt. Let's check out those First Alert weather headlines. And as we go to the computer here, first off, you can see that 7-day forecast. We're showing showers, and we've got some windy conditions coming on Monday, and then more storms around Thursday. You can see a lot of wet weather in that forecast here over the next 7 days that we're going to get into. But weather headlines, first off, tonight there could be some showers, some chilly conditions. We've got rain tomorrow, and then we're looking at wind and storms possible there on Monday. As we look ahead at our weather headlines in the weekend forecast here, tomorrow a pretty good chance for rain, 70 degrees during the afternoon. We got some locations right now where the temperatures are in the upper 40s to the north, quite the temperature gradient across the state of Alabama. And then you can see 76 there for our Sunday and a 20% chance of showers there, a little bit drier for Sunday. This evening, tracking showers, looking at 7 to 8 o'clock. That chance for rain is there, but not quite as widespread as what we saw earlier today. Let's get the First Alert AccuTrack radar, and here's what we're looking at right now as we zoom in across East Alabama. You can see some rain moving in around Ashland. Let's back the view out, and you can see further to the west here, we got some showers into Walker County, some rain to the north that's been moving across Coleman County and into Blount County. Again, nothing too heavy. Earlier today, we actually had a few storms out there and some pockets of heavier rain that were moving west to east across the state, but a lot of what we're seeing right now is just very, very spotty showers. Let's hold it right there on that view, and you can see moving west to east. Again, a little bit of rain around Ashland, but that's what we're going to be tracking for this evening. You kind of get the picture here, mostly light precipitation, but tomorrow, starting in the morning, we'll see an increase in the number of showers and storms that develop across our area. And lots to talk about over the next 7 days. As we saw in that 7-day forecast, next week could be stormy at times, some gusty winds there on Monday, but also coming up right here on First Alert Weather Extra, we're going to, of course, have our weather kid of the week. It's Friday, as we always say. We're going to check in with JP, talk about this pattern that we're in right now, more on a cyclone that's happening on the other side of the globe, and that is Cyclone Freddy. And don't forget, it's a severe weather preparedness tax-free weekend, and we'll show you some of those items that qualify for that tax-free weekend, and you want to take advantage of that. We'll have more coming up next on First Alert Weather Extra.
We know weather can be grab the umbrella or jogging shoes, but it's so much more. It's a science, an art, led by knowledge and experience.
And no one has more of that than a WBRC First Alert weather team.
Warning you first with more hours committed to you. And the first forecast built to see weeks, days, and even minutes ahead, right down to where you live. From the team you trust on your favorite screen.
Doing the weather better. The WBRC First Alert weather team, always on your side.
Some people may think you're overreacting. Some may ask, is there a storm coming? That's okay, because knowing the First Alert has helped you beat the rush. Being prepared puts you in control and changes the what if to you're okay. Knowing first is everything. First Alert Weather.
If you have plans for this weekend, we have a First Alert for a wintry mix.
When you need to know next week, tomorrow, or even right now, the WBRC First Alert Weather Team is always on your side, whenever and wherever you need us. This is why we First Alert.
Welcome back to First Alert Weather Extra. I'm meteorologist Lauren Linehan. You know, if you have been having some issues with the weather this week, or at least think it's unusual, you are not alone. This has been a pain to forecast, this weather pattern we've been in. So we thought we'd bring in one of our resident experts to talk with about this crazy weather that we've been having and what this could mean in the months ahead. We now bring in meteorologist JP Dice, our dear friend here at Fox 6. JP, how's it going tonight?
Going well on this Friday night, Lauren, and you're right, it is a roller coaster ride of weather. One day we have record-breaking temperatures, and today it's cloudy and it's relatively cool out there.
Yeah, it's pretty
changing.
Or if we're going to be seeing this warmer weather in place, could we possibly see some strong storms in the mix as we go into next week? So certainly not out of the question.
Stepped right over you there, Lauren.
Oh, you're fine. Yeah, I think there was a brief delay. Imagine that with it raining. Okay, yeah. Go ahead, JP. We've got you now.
Yeah. I was talking about, it looks like we have a longer range forecast here where those temperatures are going to be well above average. So I'm not really seeing things backing down considerably. It doesn't mean you're not going to have a few cold snaps here, but covering the weather for a long time in this state, we are going to be looking at probably a trend here where temperatures are going to continue to be above average as we get into the spring months. Of course, the question that always comes about from folks is with the warmer temperatures, does that mean we're going to have a lot more severe weather? Doesn't necessarily mean that. Certainly that's one ingredient that we look at is the warmer temperatures translates into higher instability values. But in all honesty, over the last number of years, I've seen some of the more active severe weather that we've had to deal with right here in technically the winter months.
And that's very true. And we always say, you know, in Alabama, you can get tornadoes any time of year. I mean, this week in particular, we haven't even necessarily dealt with severe weather, but this has been a complicated forecast. And it's almost like the weather this week has more resembled a forecast for May. Can you kind of talk about what has been the dominant things in play here in the atmosphere that have made this forecast a little difficult this week?
Yeah. Fantastic point there, Lauren. What I think the dominant features are is the jet stream. The jet stream, those upper level winds, the river of air, so to speak, at about 40,000 feet, has been incredibly strong, and it really has been positioned farther to the north. With that, that means warmer temperatures here. So we've really systems. The other thing that comes into play over the last day or so and going into the weekend is some stalled out fronts. If you notice today, it's been cloudy, it's been rainy, kind of a dreary day. We'll continue come back tomorrow, and that's because of a front that's basically just parked itself over the southeast. So that's what's in play right now. Stalled fronts and also an upper level jet stream, the jet stream that's really moved farther to the north. When you really see that jet stream kick farther to the north is usually during the months of May and June, and we start to see a much hotter pattern here. And certainly on temperatures in the mid 80s, which February, it's not unheard of, but it did break some records this week.
Yes, we have been dealing with that record-breaking heat. So, JP, to personalize this a little bit, I just want to ask you, you sent me a picture earlier and what you were flying in, and I got to tell you, if I were in charge of that plane, we'd be in big trouble. What has it been like flying in this type of weather pattern?
Wow. Let me tell you what. Day, I believe we had winds that were around 42 miles per hour at the surface. So, of course, landing has been a little bit bumpy down low. That's a little abnormal for what we typically see around here. And today, what we were dealing with is a lot of low clouds. And I make a point to get my students up in not so pretty weather to make sure when they're out there by themselves flying as an instrument-rated pilot, they're familiar with this kind of weather and low visibility and not being able to see and fly with reference to the instruments and all the electronic wizardry we have in the airplane.
Well, thanks for that, JP, and thanks for checking in with us. I will definitely take you up on a trip in that airplane, maybe not in weather like this today, though.
We'll give you a tour on a sunny day.
That sounds preferable. Thanks again, JP. And now back here closer to home. We just talked with JP. Now let's check in with meteorologist Tania Michelle for a trip on weather around the world. Tania?
Thanks so much, Lauren. Okay, everyone, you know what time it is. It's meteorologists around the world, but today we're not meeting a meteorologist, but rather a First Alert weather watcher. Bobby Rowe is from Pale City, Alabama, so let's head on over to Pale City to meet him.
You're a weather watcher, Bobby. Tell us a little bit about where that came about. How did that start?
Well, it came about back in 1977, until I'm going to tell you my age, probably. But I went to work, started to work, got to work, and was standing in the doorway at the police department in Fultondale, and there were some bad storms. I hadn't been there 30 minutes and was watching everything else at the door, and like somebody turned the lights out. And that's when there was an EF5 tornado come up out of Birmingham and come up I-65 north and cleaned the hilltop off at Smithfield, leveled the houses up there. Well, I just happened to be on the rescue units that day and was out there in the middle of it. And the devastation was it was like a bomb went off. It just leveled the whole mountaintop up there, all them houses, brand new houses. And that's what got me interested in the weather.
So this happened back in 1977. So at that time, that sparked your interest in weather, right?
Right.
So when did you become a weather watcher?
Well, I was involved in another storm in 2011, April 27, 2011, when we had the bad outbreak everywhere. And so I was going to work as usual. It always hits when I go to work. And I was going down I-20 westbound, going to Trussville. And I got up to Cook Springs, topped off the hill, and the rain was just terrific. You couldn't even see the drive on the interstate. You couldn't even see the interstate. And I just stopped dead middle in the interstate, and I thought, oh, I hope nobody hits rear ends of me up here. And so the computer went down, everything went down. I couldn't see. I saw the storm coming on the computer. And when it eased up enough, you could see the drive. When I got down to Brompton, there was trees all over the interstate. Brompton exit was shut down, like they never got around through there. Well, I called my son because he lived down there then, right there off the Brompton exit. I said, you all okay? He said, no, my house is destroyed. I said, what about the kids? He said, we had them in the bathtub, and they're okay. Everybody's okay, but my house is destroyed. And so I finally had to work my way back through Moody to get back to Trussville and everything. There was just trees down. I mean, it was just houses tore up and everything else. And so after that, got the researcher. Well, the National Weather Service had a Skywarn program, so I went to the basic program and took it. And then after that, I thought, well, I'm gonna finish it, and went to the graduate program and finished that. And after that, it led into one thing, and then saw the thing on Channel 6, Hunting Weather Watchers, applied for it, and got it.
Wow,
So-
that is amazing. So not only do you have experience like keeping track of the storms, but you've lived through this.
Oh, I've lived through
Like
several.
you
of
lived
them, yeah.
through
I've lived
this.
through- We had one come through here several years ago that come right up the side. We stood out there on the deck and watched it come up the river. And when it did, it jumped into Cropple over here. And when it did, it come straight up through here and hit across 34 highway and just tore that all up back up in yonder.
Just wanted to make a quick disclaimer that although Bobby doesn't leave his mobile home or hasn't in the past during severe weather, listen, we advise no one to do that, okay? So that's our disclaimer for severe weather safety. It's vital that you find a storm shelter or safe place to go to. But we'll get back to Bobby's interview. And like he mentioned, the nearest storm shelter for him in Pale City is the courthouse. So if you're in Pale City, that's your safe place to go, especially if you're in a mobile home. So that's a quick disclaimer. Back to the video.
Get scary.
Well, that leads me to my next question. So when a storm does come near this area, where do you go?
Closest place here is the courthouse in Pale City. They've got a storm shelter up there, down in the basement down there. But I've always stayed here. But there's been times I wish I was debating on whether to get out and go or what.
Now, because you're a weather watcher, do your neighbors and people sort of rely on you? For
Yeah,
some kind-
I'll get phone calls all the time wanting to know, Bobby, what's the weather going to do? What's the weather going to do? And I'll say, well, I'll let you know. And so when it starts getting bad, I'll start
Can you
texting.
show us a little bit about your equipment and what you use when it comes to even just tracking day-to-day weather?
Yeah, this one here, this is a Omega Radar. This is a new program. It's Omega Radar, and right now it's in 3D. And that storm just got out of Pell City right there. One up here, this is Omega radar, that's high velocity setup. And then this is a GLR level 3 radar coming off Allison House. This goes to my weather station on the roof. It's just amazing how that stuff can travel like it does.
Literally, in a matter of minutes, just destroy everything in its path.
I know. It's wild.
It is wild. So that's why we appreciate people like you, all of our weather watchers. It's a pleasure speaking with you today, Bobby, and we look forward to you, especially for the spring season.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, well, now we head to the Indian Ocean where Cyclone Freddy made landfall Tuesday along the east coast of Madagascar. The picture on your screen is a snapshot of the satellite imagery of Freddy. Cyclone Freddy had winds around 80 miles per hour and brought hurricane force winds, storm surge, and heavy rainfall to the island country. Unfortunately, the east coast of Madagascar is still recovering from Cyclone Chinesno that made landfall last month. Destroying homes and leaving thousands without a place to live, we send our thoughts and prayers to them.
Thanks for that update, Tania. Coming up, we check in with Chief Meteorologist Wes Wyatt for a look at that Super 7-day forecast. And just around the corner, Mickey's weather kid. Time to leave yet. We'll be right back.
Are you noticing mold or discoloration in your shower? Or maybe you just want to replace that old bathtub with something more modern and luxurious? Well, either way, we've got you covered. Hey everybody, I'm joined by BJ Worzen, owner of West Shore Home, to talk a little shower and bath remodeling and how West Shore is making the entire process from start to finish fast and easy. BJ.
Thanks, Joe. At West Shore Home, we understand the headaches and stress a remodeling project can cause. That's why everything that we do is designed to make it stress-free for our customers.
A lot of people don't think of remodeling as stress-free, especially bath remodeling. So how are you making a complicated process easier?
Everything in our process can be done from the comfort of your own home. Give us a call and we'll send one of our bath experts out that has a time that's most convenient for you. And when it comes time for that installation, we're going to send one of our employee installers out and complete that project in as little as 1 day.
So no running out to big box stores and comparing samples and colors and then maybe waiting months for the installation. You're saying this is an all-inclusive process, making it really fast and easy for customers. That's great. Now, BJ, I understand you have a flash sale going on right now. Tell us about that.
That's right, Joe. Right now, anyone that gives us a call, we're going to do free installation on all shower and bath remodeling projects. On top of that, we're going to be doing 12 months, no interest, no payment financing. That means you can get that bath project done right now and not have to make any payments or pay any interest until 2024.
Free installation, that's a great offer. Well, let's see some projects you've done recently.
Absolutely, let's take a look. Here, we were able to completely remove an outdated shower and bath and install something that matched the rest of their bathroom. That low step feature is going to make getting in and out of that shower really easy. And the sleek matte black hardware looks amazing. Here's a few more. All of these were installed in 1 day, and just a reminder, for a limited time, anyone that calls will get free installation on their shower and bath project.
BJ, thanks so much. Folks, call West Shore Home now for this limited time offer. It's free installation on all shower and bath projects. Plus, for limited time, BJ is doing 12 months of no payments and no interest financing. Get your shower project now and don't worry about making a single payment until 2024. Call West Shore Home now.
Welcome back into First Alert Weather Extra. We've got a lot of rain out there still, a lot of light precipitation that's showing up, nothing too heavy, but there's enough to where we could have some wet roadways out there, especially in the Blount County. You can see there across Jasper, and some heavier pockets of rain's been impacting places along the 278 corridor. It is cold out there. We have some 40s in areas to the north, so I know we've been cranking up the AC past couple of days. Well, it's back to heater weather. A lot of areas in the 50s tomorrow morning, but again, further north, there's going to be a chill in the air. Highs tomorrow, though, it's back up to 70. So the roller coaster ride continues. Let's talk about our Saturday. One thing you'll notice here, not a total washout tomorrow. Let's stop it right there. 6 a.m. See that? Couple of showers showing up. Forecast radar simulation showing that possibility of the morning being the time period with the better chance for maybe a passing downpour, kind of like what we saw today, and then maybe a break in the afternoon. That is a possible scenario, but I would grab that umbrella tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening, just in case a little bit of wet weather shows up. That chance of rain higher for Saturday, lower for Sunday, only a 20% chance. Notice Monday, there's a front moving in. One of the big stories about Monday is going to be a windy day, kind of like what we saw this week. Remember Wednesday we had the wind advisories? Well, giving you that first alert Monday, we could have some wind gusts out there topping 30 miles per hour. Very windy setup. Tuesday looks like one of the nicer days next week. In fact, you look at this and the dry days, well, they're few here on the 7-day forecast. So circle Tuesday for those plans. Watching Thursday for more heavy rain. What could happen here Thursday and Friday? The potential is there for this to set up and be a heavy rain event, perhaps some flooding issues there around Thursday and next Friday. Stormy setup, perhaps. We'll keep a watch on it for the risk of severe storms. That possibility is certainly there, but it looks like a lot of wet weather, as you can tell on that 7-day forecast. Check the First Alert weather app over the weekend. Check in with Fred and Tania as we monitor that setup. It's still too soon for specifics, but I still think late next week the possibility is there for some stormy weather. Notice temperatures trending back well above average there for the middle of next week. And we'll have lots of updates on the weather app. We'll have more right here, including Mickey's Weather Kit, as we continue on First Alert Weather Extra.
We heard the first alert. Mom says we have to go. She says I don't have time to grab any more toys.
Need to be in your tornado safe place. Get there right now as you have.
We have to get to our safe place because sometimes when you hear the siren, it's too late. That's why she says knowing first is everything.
We know weather can be grab the umbrella or jogging shoes, but it's so much more. It's a science, an art, led by knowledge and experience.
And no one has more of that than a WBRC First Alert weather team.
Warning you first with more hours committed to you. And the first forecast built to see weeks, days, and even minutes ahead, right down to where you live. From the team you trust on your favorite screen.
Doing the weather better. The WBRC First Alert weather team, always on your side.
The first alert is more than a warning. It's a promise. A promise to get you out of harm's way with plenty of time to spare. 4 walls and a roof can be replaced. Lives can't. That's why knowing first is everything. First Alert weather.
Welcome back to First Alert Weather Extra. I'm meteorologist Lauren Lenahan. Don't forget, this is Alabama severe weather tax-free weekend. It runs until Sunday at midnight. In addition to no state tax on certain items, many county and city governments are rolling back their taxes too. Tax-free items include flashlights, first aid kits, cell phone chargers and two-way radios, tarps, and fire extinguishers and coolers. Portable generators and power cords costing less than $1,000 are also tax-free. We have a full list of what's eligible for purchase on the WBRC News app. This is the 12th year for the severe weather tax-free weekend.
We tend not to prepare ahead. We tend to wait till disaster strikes. But those are good things, you know, having batteries on hand, having a phone charger that works. Those are good at any time of the year, even if there's not a disaster. So it's just a good way for you to every year remind yourself, okay, let's stock back up and let's make sure we've got all those items, and so that those items are on hand when disaster does strike.
Yeah, so a great opportunity to get out and shop this weekend. Wish the weather were a little better, but at least it won't be a deluge. In the meantime, it is Friday. We're not going to let the weather get us down. Let's check in with Mickey Ferguson to see who is this week's weather kid.
Hey, this is Adaya Brown, we did some shout outs a while ago, but you just kind of said hi to everybody. Is there anybody specifically you want to say hi to?
Yes.
You got to look right in this lens right here. Yeah, just tell them hello. Who do you want to give a shout out to?
I want to give a shout out to Dia, a shout out to Ashton, a shout out to my godmom, a shout out to my mom,
Yeah.
a shout out to my school, a shout out to my principals,
You got more than one?
yes,
Wow.
and a shout out to my best friend,
Who's your best friend?
Kamisha.
Kamisha. Kamisha, she's a good gal. I like Kamisha. I don't know her. Sorry, I interrupted. I interrupted you just then, and I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. Keep going.
And I want to give a shout out to my class and a shout out to my teacher.
What's your teacher's name?
Miss Simpson.
Miss Simpson. She's the best teacher. It's just the way she. Why is she so good?
She's a good teacher because like every time I'm sad, she'll always come and ask like, what's wrong? And if somebody's mean to me, she'll always say like, you come over here right now. And she'll always confront them and tell them not to do that anymore.
Well, that's real nice. That is a good teacher. I like that. You ready to do the weather?
Yes.
All right, let's do it. As we get into today, well, I pushed the wrong button. Let me go back and get the right button. I got the wrong button clicker. I'll be right back to entertain yourself. And here I am. All right, so let's look over here. And what's that green stuff? Look right there on that TV screen. What's that? What's that green stuff over there?
That is rain.
Rain. We got some rain out there. Can I borrow your arm here?
Yes.
Let's point up to this. What's this city right here and the temperature?
Birmingham, 62 degrees.
What about way back there?
Tuscaloosa, 68 degrees.
And about this one?
Clayton, 68 degrees.
You are a good reader. How about that? And what do we think is happening at around lunchtime today? Let's say around noonish. What's going on?
We're going to have a 40% chance of rain and 62 degrees.
And if we look over here at this monitor right there, what's the high today?
65 degrees.
And the wind's out of the
northeast with 5 to 10 miles per hour.
Very, very good. Now, as you say goodbye, do you want to do the sign out? Okay, we're going to do the sign out here. But kids, if you want to do the weather with me, tell your mom or dad or your teacher or your somebody to sign you up. Go online to WBRC.com, click on the drop-down menu, and look for the Good Day link. You got to be between the ages of 5 and 12 to enter, and every kid who's picked gets an AmFirst Visa gift card for $25. AmFirst makes it all possible. Now say your name and do your sign out.
My name's Adaya Brown. WBRC Fox 6 News on your side.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I love her, and a big shout out to her teacher, Miss Simpson. I think she needs to come up in here and get some of us in line at WBRC. But let's take a look. Let me pull up that 7-day forecast. I was so into Mickey's Weather Kit, I forgot. That's the whole point of the end of this show, right? Let's see. Got it, there we go. So tomorrow we do have a first alert for some scattered showers around. I don't think it's gonna be a washout all day. You may be somewhere you don't even see rain, but that's the nature of scattered showers. Can't pinpoint exactly where they're going to be, but we've got a stalled out front to our south, so it's not out of the question to see some rain. And temperatures back near 70 degrees tomorrow, well into the 70s on Sunday, and that kicks off our warming trend going into next week. Sunday looks a touch drier, and then Monday we have not just some storms around, but it definitely looks like it's going to be on the windy side. Now, as you look at this forecast, if you just had to pick which one would be the day that looks the best, unfortunately, yes, it's Tuesday. Tuesday is probably the lamest day of the week, but I've always thought of Tuesday as the second Monday. But hey, if we got sunshine in the forecast, ain't mad at it. So it's going to be a beautiful day. Now, as we get into Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, it looks like a system's going to be coming our way that could bring some rain, if not some strong storms. So we do want to give you a first alert, especially for Thursday. That's potentially when we could see some strong storms. It's not set in stone yet, but we're watching it and just want to make sure you were in the loop. In the meantime, hope you enjoy your Friday evening. You can check back in with us tonight on First at 9 for that updated forecast, and back here on Weather Extra Monday through Friday every weeknight at 6:30 on your favorite streaming device. I'm meteorologist Lauren Linehan. Have a safe and happy Friday.